A week into the Trump administration, and Colorado is at the center of the immigration debate. A large-scale raid led by the DEA detains dozens of people. The governor insists this is not a sanctuary state, despite state law blocking some cooperation with ICE. And new tonight, Republicans in Congress want Denver's mayor to testify about sanctuary cities. Thanks for joining us. I'm Kim Christensen.
And I'm Kyle Clark. Denver's mayor is being called before Congress to answer for sanctuary city policies. Now, it's not clear if Mayor Mike Johnson's actually going to go and testify. It's not a subpoena, just an invitation. The House Oversight Committee sent letters to Johnson along with the mayors of Boston, Chicago, and New York City. The committee says it's investigating sanctuary city policies and their impact on safety. The letter asked the mayors to come testify at a hearing February 11th. Democratic Governor Jared Polis insists that Colorado is not a sanctuary state in any way, shape, or form. That's what he told our sister station in the Springs, KRDO.
This narrative is false, that Colorado is any way, shape, or form a sanctuary state. We are not.
Now, there is no legal definition of what makes a sanctuary jurisdiction. However, Colorado does offer a level of protection to people here without legal authorization that most states do not offer, even if Colorado does cooperate with ICE on criminal cases. I asked the governor about the disconnect between plain English and what he's saying. Is it misleading to say not in any way, shape, or form is this a sanctuary state?
We cooperate fully with our federal partners on all criminal matters. And we work closely with FBI, with DEA, with ICE, always have, and we always plan to, because it's part of what we need to do to make Colorado safer. That being said, we also have laws in place to make sure that the federal government doesn't get to co-opt local law enforcement, taking them off the beat of keeping Colorado safe and preventing auto theft and drug dealing, to instead force federal immigration statutes.
Governor said that today following a big immigration raid in Adams County over the weekend that ended with nearly 50 people in custody. That roundup was led by the Drug Enforcement Administration, although they said today it's unlikely that there are going to be drug charges filed. More likely it'll just lead to deportations. 9 News reporter Rachel Krause is joining us. And Rachel, DEA says this happened at a party affiliated with the Venezuelan gang Tren de Aragua.
Yeah, the DEA says this is a trend. They claim TDA members will set up parties on the weekends, put out the invite on social media. The location of the party does move, but it's been held at the warehouse on the 66 block, 100 block of Federal Boulevard before. On Sunday morning, they moved in.
We've been tracking and watching members of this group and this gang for a number of months.
A big drug bust back in August led the DEA to investigate Tren de Aragua for months. That investigation ended this weekend with a raid on a makeshift nightclub in Adams County. Jonathan Pullen, special agent in charge of the DEA's Rocky Mountain Division, says this was a TDA party.
This was an invitation-only event.
Sunday, they said 49 people were taken into custody. DEA says at least 41 were undocumented. Pullen says there were U.S. citizens at the party, as well as people from South America, Italy, and Romania. 9 News Investigates asked, how many specifically were members of TDA?
I don't have a number on that yet. We're actually still working on trying to identify how many were card-carrying TDA members.
Pullen says some of the people detained have criminal histories. A few are serious.
Not homicide, but drug trafficking, sex trafficking.
They found drugs, cocaine, crack cocaine, and 2C, known as pink cocaine. Pullen says they only found small amounts, enough for partygoers. And the DEA's bust likely isn't going to end with any drug charges.
A big part of the issue with that is because there were so many people inside, by the time we got inside and were able to actually safely contact these people, the drugs and all the guns were already on the floor.
They found guns, 4 of them. Pullen says likely no weapons charges here either.
I think they're still looking to see if there's fingerprint evidence or anything else we can tie to any specific person, but that process would take time.
Now that the Trump administration has instructed the DEA to help with immigration enforcement, Pullen says they don't know yet how involved the DEA will be in these kinds of cases.
I don't think we know what the marching orders of the Department of Justice will be on that. We were given Title VIII authority, which is part of the immigration laws. But essentially, I think that allows us to assist other federal partners when they need an assist. I don't think that means DEA is going to be making that their primary focus. And indeed, our primary focus is keeping the public safe from drug traffickers, and that's what we're going to continue to focus on.
There's still a lot we don't know about this raid, like who was at the nightclub and who was arrested. We don't yet know how many of those arrested are TDA members or how high up in the gang they are. We're waiting to hear if federal cases will be filed or if these individuals will be deported or both. Rachel Krause, 9 News.
Unrelated to the raid in Adams County this weekend, the DEA says they arrested 2 men in the country without proper documentation in southeast Denver today, and they now face drug charges. The DEA posted this video on social media. They say they arrested the men at an apartment complex near Quebec, Mississippi, about 7 this morning. The DEA says they found fentanyl, crack, heroin, and meth at the complex. They could not say which country the men are from. The DEA says the men have ties to cartels based in Mexico.
A hotline that volunteers use to monitor the activity of immigration officers says they've been getting a lot of calls. The Colorado Rapid Response Network is meant to let people know when and where ICE is operating in the community. After a call comes in, the network will dispatch volunteers to confirm if there is an immigration operation underway. Volunteers told us they hope to offer guidance and to address fear in the community.
It's a beautiful thing to see how Coloradans take care of their neighbors. And it's really disheartening and scary to see this happening to our community right now.
If somebody calls this hotline wanting to find someone, volunteers are familiar with using a database to check if they're in an ICE detention facility.
Nature's snowplow did some serious work along the Front Range today. We're going to get some more help from the sun this week. 9 News Chief Meteorologist Kathy Sabin is here with a quick look at our forecast. Boy, it felt good today.
Oh, it was amazing. And I think just seeing the sunshine, the melting just really helped elevate everybody's mood this afternoon on a Monday after it's been so cold, icy, and snowy. There's been just enough cloud cover lately for pretty sunrise and pretty sunset pictures. The snow, of course, highlighting the colorful clouds. We're down to 28 after a high of 51 degrees today. I can't remember the last time I reported a high of 51, so that felt really good. The winds are pretty light right now, and that will be a trend throughout the night into the day tomorrow. This is the center of circulation we're tracking for the middle of the week. Brought beneficial rain to California, concerns for flooding and mudslides, and that system is now on the move towards southern Colorado. So that's a system bringing a few light snow showers to the Four Corners area. No advisories for snow or travel yet. In Denver and the Front Range, we've got a few high clouds coming in and then clear skies tonight. Temperatures trending in the 20s for the next couple of hours. Kind of a quiet night, not as cold. This morning our low at DIA was 10. So a mild dry start to the week, a mild dry end of the week. It's the middle of the week when we've got a chance for snow in Denver, but the above average temperature trend could last the weekend. More on that coming up.
Advocates for people experiencing homelessness in Arvada say that resources are shrinking while their needs are growing.
Let's bring in 9 News reporter Janelle Finch. Janelle, tonight is the start of what they call the point-in-time count.
That's right. And according to the Metro Denver Homeless Initiative, nearly 1,000 people were unhoused in Jefferson County last year. 556 of those people were unsheltered on the night of the count. So for the 2025 count beginning tonight, and Arvada Church hopes that number will decrease as they open their doors. Between the beds, blankets, and hot brews,
getting good at this assembly line now, right?
Mission Arvada prepares its overnight shelter to meet the needs of up to 60 people.
Yeah, everything.
Though Executive Director Karen Cowling knows even their everything isn't enough.
That is just the surface, because our clients, they really need year-round, all day long case management. You know, we're dealing with folks that have huge trauma. They have mental health issues and sometimes substance abuse issues, and it's not going away. It's actually getting bigger.
Cowling is seeing community needs grow firsthand.
In our day shelter program, we served almost 1,400 unique individual clients in 2024.
She says that's more than double the number of clients served 4 years ago.
It's not going to go away. It's very urgent. It's very urgent.
She says the church is meeting a larger demand following the closure of the severe weather shelter network in August. The emergency shelter closed due to lack of funding and church involvement, bringing people
and we've had
to Cowling's doors.
21 out of the last 24 nights of overnight sheltering here at the church.
Though the extra pressure is a challenge, Cowling knows the shelter has to be enough for now.
We're fine-tooth combing all of this, you know, and trying to do the best that we can with what we've been given.
Late last year, the city of Arvada purchased the old Early College of Arvada with the intent to turn it into a homeless navigation center. People living in Arvada were very vocal about not wanting the center, so much so the city paused all action on the site. While the city says it wasn't intended to be an overnight shelter, they say it would have helped reach the people who need the resources most. Janelle Finch, 9 News.
President Trump wants to change the Pentagon's policy on transgender troops. He signed an executive order tonight directing Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth to do just that. That rewritten policy is expected to set in motion a future ban on military service by transgender troops. Trump tried to impose a similar ban during his first term. That was caught in a years-long court battle that then President Biden overturned when he took office in 2021. The same people who fought the proposed policy change then are vowing to fight it again.
The state legislature will consider more bills this session, changing what you, the public, have the right to know. One of those bills concerns how much a university pays student athletes. State legislators will debate this week if those contracts with students should be confidential.
The public's right to know public business is really a good absolute in that it leads to equity, it leads to fairness, it leads to accountability.
In a text, the bill's sponsor, Democratic State Rep Leslie Smith, told us CU will be at a significant disadvantage when it comes to recruitment if those contracts go public. She suggested that athletes might prefer universities that keep revenue sharing private. This will be discussed at the Capitol on Wednesday.